Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Timberborn Z. We're in the middle of a drought. And, you know, droughts are fun. And there's plenty of things for us to actually conquer here today, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I think today what we're going to focus on or finish up is we're going to get in here. We're going to clear up all the logs that I promised to finish knocking out. Get this up and running so that we can have copious amounts of water up here. Get our happy fun park for all of our beavers to come in and do all the fun things. As one does, right? We need to make sure our beavers are nice and happy. And then I want to get over here and I want to clean some of this up here. Get some more, I think we might do some more forestry up here. Get some sort of pond set up in here so we can irrigate all of this so that this doesn't continue to happen for us. We'll probably set up another tapper shack in here so we can get a hold of this maple syrup, which is all just rotting away right there, which is kind of sad. You know, you don't like seeing that happen. So we'll take advantage of that and then probably help out with some of our maneuvering about the cabin. So we'll probably set up a few more of our zipline hubs on and around the workspace. Probably put another hub up here so these guys don't have to run up and down these stairs the entire time. That'll help us clear up some of these additional layers of paths that are on and about the cabin. So we're going to work on some of that today, and I think it'll be good. Hopefully, we'll see, but let's go ahead and get into the game. We're going to hit that 3x speed, let the beavers do the beaver things, and we're going to go ahead and toss in our lumberjack flag right here, which will cover down the majority of that stuff. And we'll do the same up here just to cover down the onesie twosie things down here. Go ahead and set all of this stuff for cutting so that that can get taken care of without too much consternation. Don't care about that one. That's not really going to be too much of an issue for us. We will have to path down in here a little bit so that we can toss in another one of these lumberjack flags so that all of this gets covered down. And that should not be too much of an issue. I'll go ahead and max out the priority on all of this stuff so that it can be accomplished quickly. Otherwise, these guys are just going to be sat on their bums. And we don't like beavers that are bored sat on their bums. And we'll go ahead and mark this for chop edge. And I don't know if he'll be able to reach that far. Give me the actual beaver. Okay, so we need to click this button, give that a priority bump, and we'll get those stairs built so they can actually do something productive with their lives. Otherwise, he's just going to... Gamer Guy 219 is just going to be mad at me. We'll probably pause him for now so that he can actually do something with his life. And now, one thing that I think we will take advantage of is a wonderful comment from somebody on the YouTube side. So we're going to go ahead and rip this out here real quick and do the same thing here. I do believe this is a true statement. If we look down here, we've only got one water source down here, which we should be able to get away with just one sluice gate. So I will take advantage of that. Save us some of our metals and go ahead and do that like that. And that should be quite the easy thing for them to knock out. Now, let us see here. We'll go ahead and unpause the game. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to start working on this. First of all, I want this up to the max height. And I think what we could do is rock in here, blast that out right there, take advantage of that nice little corner, and we'll let them get to that when they can. That should irrigate enough of this, hopefully, that we can actually keep this from drying out, because it does dry out in 4.2 days, which is technically less time than what is remaining in our drought. However, that's not really beneficial because our droughts are going to get longer and longer as time progresses, and I'd like to avoid having this continue to expire on us. Sweet. Go ahead and click this button, see what's going on up here. Water's kind of tanking a little bit, which I'm not a fan of. So let's go ahead and hit that button. Get somebody in there to fill our reservoirs with. And we'll go ahead and toss something in right here so that we can help out with water procurement, storage, and distribution. So this will be a supply button. That means that these guys, they only have to go over to here and fill that in, and then our haulers will move water about the cabin without too much issue. We'll go ahead and pause the builders since we are kind of running low on all of that. And I do want to give this a priority bump over what's happening over there, because we can't really take advantage of that until the end of the drought anyway. And we'll go ahead and give this a priority bump here to come clean up some of this. Now that's where a fair bit, not a little bit of our stuff ran off to. So we had a bunch of planks that were being used down here, so make sure that we grab all of that. Now we do have a beaver up here who is bored, which means that they've already cleared up the majority of that stuff up there, and then we can click on this button, which means that they can actually get up there and finish clearing up those last few logs for us. Now what we're gonna have to do is get up here or down there. I'm thinking up here is probably going to be the better option for us, which means we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll give this a priority bump so that they can come over here and knock that out. We're probably going to have them... Oh, well, there's no need for that, actually. They were able to get up here without any issue. So we'll go ahead and we'll have them tear this out. Or... Can I put... No, you really didn't... You weren't able to reach that far, were you? All right, cool. We'll do that. We'll give that a max priority, which means that they can come over here and clear up those last couple of logs. It'll give us another 16 units, which is going to be not the most, but it will be helpful. And that's always a good thing. And what we can do here is do something like this, which means they can actually crawl on top of here and finish the rest of this. I should not have destroyed this levee. That was a waste of material. But it's okay. We'll get that back in time. And our drought is ending as we speak. So that is a good thing to see. I'm always happy to see that. This hasn't gone in yet because, well, we've pulled our total of beavers down. I am happy to see that we're able to keep this irrigated long enough with how much water we have stored in this reservoir. And we were not pumping out of it actively for a minute, so that doesn't exactly bode well in the total or in the grand scheme of things. So we're going to have to think about expanding this up a little bit. Now, this is where all the beavers are at. They have been given this a priority, so that's where they're at, cleaning up some of this mess down here, which we could probably get them to not do. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Let's see here. So this being constantly filled means this stays irrigated, which means that we can actually probably, I don't think I want to destroy that yet, because this is going to become a hassle for us once we have longer droughts and bad tides. So we'll go ahead and let that stay for now. All right, let's see here. Where else can we snag some beavers to do beavery things? Or what else can we be working on here? So I think what we should probably do is get them to finish this last bit of this, which means throwing in 15 more planks, which we have. Then there are logs there, a few planks there as well. So we can get them up here to finish this and also finish the rest of this, which they should be able to reach without too much issue. How we're doing power-wise, not the greatest. So I do want to give this a max priority. So we can connect this. That's another 155 units of power, and we're going to go ahead and give this a priority bump too. Probably drop this priority-wise. I'd rather get stuff moving than not. And I do want to give this a priority bump so that we can get this taken care of. Okay. I'm fighting priorities all over the place. All right. So what do we need first? Power is a priority. This can hold off for a little bit. I don't have too much of a concern for that. This did expire, sadly. It died out, died to drying out. That stinks. Some of them were rescued just based off the time that they popped up, reached maturity, or dried out, or whatever it may have. So that's kind of stinky. I won't have them replant all that. We should be able to take advantage of that soon enough. I will pause these two so we can get some more haulers moving, which we're already... Okay, we're at 5 haulers, which is okay for what we need it to do. So I think that'll be okay. Now let's see here. What else we got? I want you to stay in there. This did get done, so we can blast this out. And I think what we need to do is go ahead and place in a few more of those right there. And then I think that puts us near. We're going to need a couple more, which is fine. That's fine, and they can reach all of that without too much issue, and that'll be good for what we need them to do. We'll pull that back up so we can actually see what's happening in the rest of the world and go ahead and check out how things are going elsewhere. Now, I kind of want to get in here and get another set of pumpers going, so I'm going to pause the gears and the planks for a little bit so we can get water moving, because that is a priority. And we'll go ahead and pause the paper since that's maxed out. And pause... No, I don't want to pause that. And I don't want to pause explosives because we're going to need a magic poop ton of all that. That should be good enough though, so we'll get those 3 in there and that'll be good. Building lacks materials. You're out of grilled chestnuts. And that's because I haven't had anybody in here pulling those, which is not conducive to a chestnut collecting place. And you have nothing in stock because all of these are empty. So we'll go ahead and pause you, get you to work doing something else with your life. And I think we could probably get close to pausing these guys because I don't think we need... Well, yeah, we do need the bad tide or bad water. Bad water is going to be quite beneficial in the long run. All right. So I think it's time for us to expand our housing just a tad bit. So let's go ahead and come into here. Hit this triple lodge button. Rip this out. Go and toss that in right there. Expand this just a little bit. And that will be a good thing for us to work on. And now, since that one log is out of the way, we can actually toss that in right there. Which I probably... Well, I will need that staircase. Actually, let's give this a priority bump over this one. We'll drop this priority-wise so that they don't build that and block themselves in. We have a building that's flooded. Yeah, I know, because reasons. Duh. I'm going to pull this back up to 0.85 so we can store some water back in there on that end, which is always helpful in the grand scheme of things. This did take a priority drop over everything else that's happening, which is fine. They can continue working on all of that. Now, what do we got here? We have a few logs. We have a drought on its way, which is not the coolest, but we will survive. We have a bunch of flooded buildings down here. That'll settle itself out as things keep moving. We are completely out of haulers now, and that's not cool. I think we can survive without haulers for a minute. I'd rather get all the water that we can, which we've already maxed out, so we could probably go ahead and pause these two. Let that guy continue to work their hearts out. And that means that we can come check on how this is going on up here. Can you guys reach these two now? I hope they can. Well, they built these stairs now, so actually we can just pull this back up to its regularly scheduled programming, and we'll come check on all this. This is all connected, so that's good. This is 1900, so not counting this additional 600 there means we're at 13-ish or 2100 max capacity power production, which is good when these are spinning at full tilt. Now that's full tilt. That's not going to be constant for us, but that's good though. This means that our gravity battery is going to be filled, which is always beneficial for us. Really would like for this to stop doing that. That'd be awesome. This is done though, so we can go ahead and blast this out. And I do need to come in here and give this a priority bump, which somebody was already on the way up here to do it. So we can hit this button now, and we'll think there's just one more layer left. We'll give this a priority bump. I don't think that anything else is being really built right now, but should be able to get them up here to knock this out. And if we can get this last layer blown out, then we can fill this in, which would be pretty nice. That's already set below or above contamination to lockout, so that shouldn't be a problem. And that will be good. We've got half of a day left, or 0.9 days left. They are moving in. I do want them to actually work on this. That would be quite helpful. Stop bringing up logs. Bring up the explosives, guys. Explosives are what I want. Okay. That's all right. Let's see here. They're not going to get it done in time. No. Sad day. Sad day. But it's okay. We'll get it figured out. We'll just have to wait one more cycle. Or is this deep enough? It was deep enough. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Okay. That's not good. I have a feeling we just got a couple of our beavers sick. Oh no. I probably should have thought about that. And that's what I get for not thinking about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and rectify that. Do we have any... Okay, so what we could do is come up here. We could plant some dandelions up here. That should be good enough. Can you reach there? You can. We'll go ahead and just chuck in a couple blueberries as well. Now, I don't need blueberries right now, but I don't have a source of blueberries in the future, so that's not good. Now, we can actually get these turned back on over here. So let's get the paper mill turned back on, and I do want to come in here to the well-being tab, and we're going to go ahead and unlock the herbalist because reasons. And that can fit in there just like that. Go ahead and burn the science to unlock that. That's already paused, so that's not going to pump out all of that there for us. This is exploded, so we can come over here and toss that in right there. Go ahead and toss in a forester right here. Then we'll put in another fluid dump right here. Then what we could do is run this here. Put in a small water tank storage there. We'll get a... let's go forester. So lumberjack flag, not forester. Lumberjack flag times 2 actually. And that will irrigate all of this. That'll keep... We'll see how far this irrigates. Once this is filled in. That's really annoying, actually. That actually looks kind of cool in there. Let's look. Let's click this button. I want to see. Can we even get in there? I don't know. That's cool. Look, we got one little water source in there, just doing water source things. Got a little bit of explosive, or not explosives, ruins in here. A little bit. It's not the most, but it's something in there. So that's cool. I just realized that it's a 20-day drought, and I'm gonna pause this so that we're not burning those beavers, I guess. I don't know if that's absolutely necessary actually. But they're paused so they can go do holler things, and we'll go ahead and turn all these guys back on, and I just burned through all the rest of our hollers. I do want more sparkly planks though, which means I'm gonna have to turn this on, so that's all of our hollers gone, which is not cool, but we do have 10 more kits on the way, so that should help alleviate that issue. And of course, we've already filled these 2 spots up, so that's not going to be very beneficial to us. This does need to be water, and I do need to connect this path right here. Now, I did mention that I wanted to run some additional zip lines over here. So, what can we do zip line wise? Now, this is one of the things I'm not the biggest fan about the zip lines. Now, first off, you guys are bored, so let's pause you. and go haul. And that is filling up. Get this set to obtain. We won't prioritize that. There's no need to prioritize that. And we will go ahead. I think this is about as far over as we can reach. As I would like to reach, honestly. I think the moment we get any deeper in there, then we're just going to run into an issue with our bad tide. We might even lose this line, honestly. So that should work. Then we'll go ahead and mark all of this for chopping. Actually, I wanted to get in. Where do we fit somebody to take care of that? Okay, how about we do this? So I want something like this. Let's do this. I can't put that on top of there. That's fine. Now, do I want to do that? I think that's a tad bit ridiculous. Yeah, that's excessive. That's a tad bit ridiculous. Oops. This is fine. Don't worry about it. I will... Actually, do I even need this path attached right now? No, it's not even attached right now, so that's totally fine. Okay, where do we... Seriously, need more haulers. Where can I find haulers? Let's see here. Actually, why did I unpause you? I don't have any more storage space for all that paper. Okay. Let us see here. Are these all empty? They are all empty. So we're going to pause you for now. That gives us a little bit of haulers back. We'll pause you. That gives us a couple more haulers. We still have 4 builders running around. That is perfectly fine. Still no one hauling any water over here. This did get put in though, so that is good. That means the haulers are going to start pulling from there to push it elsewhere, which would be quite beneficial for all of our things, and that'll be great. How are we doing power-wise? 1639. These are filling in now, but I think we should probably start thinking about putting in some more of these large windmills. But first we have to blast this out right here. For reasons. Now, that should be the only thing that the builders are actively working on right now, so we'll go ahead and let them finish that as soon as I can. I do need these kits to grow up, so maybe we need to put some more things in here for them to be entertained with. Entertainment helps them grow up a little bit faster, so that is good. We did not get any beavers that are unwell, so that is good to see. So, yes, they got splashed by a little bit of water, but I think it was the majority of that was actually... It was mostly diluted, so I'm not too concerned about any of that. So that is good to see. Now, how or what do we want to do here? This is keeping everything irrigated for us. I want more storage, more water storage. Now, what we can do for that is we can come over here and fill this in. Put in a series of dams right here. And that means that this all would get filled in with water. And then... well, this entire area would get filled in with water, which... I'm not opposed to. I did want to do that weird thing where I'm trapping the water underneath in like an underground river of bad water, bad tide, but we're not anywhere near ready for that, so we're gonna have to avoid doing that little idea for a minute. All right, so that being the case, let's go ahead and come up here and we can prep for our wonderful leisure area up here by, let's see here, put some leisure areas here. Now, this isn't going to be available to them 24/7. Actually, we could do leisure. No, this is where I wanted to do wheat. That's where wheat's supposed to go. We can actually start planting that because we have enough water back. Actually, that's going to dry out soon, so that's not actually going to... That's not going to solve anything for us either. We could do wheat up here, but I don't really have a way over here. Okay. Alrighty then. This water is just sitting here evaporating, so that's not the best. I am curious to see how well this does on the irrigation front for this side. So let's go ahead and pour this water down here. I think I just dumped a lot out the back end, which is not the smartest because that's wasted water, and I don't like wasting water like that. But that's okay. Trying to think. Where can we... Not quite ready for moving into extract yet. Don't have... We've got the science, we have the metal blocks, we have the material to actually get the centrifuge up and running. And that could lead us into making tunnels, which means that we can start moving over here a bit more easily than what we're currently having to get around this side. And we could start doing wheat on this end. However, that's going to cause a problem for us when it comes to the bad tide season, because all of this just fills up with poo water and we don't have a way to divert that quite yet. So let us see here. Could put in... Actually... Can we do that? Can I do that? Where does it... So this goes up in this way. And then... we could do something like that. Is that excessive? Is that too crazy? I'm not... thinking it might be a tad bit too crazy. But I like doing crazy things. I like doing crazy things. Okay, well, let's think about this. First, I want to blast through where we can just run a series of zip lines over here, and we can start prepping the area. We're going to need a lot of lumber, which there's a lot of lumber around here. We're going to need a lot of lumber storage as well. And we do have some spaces that we can actually take advantage of that. And we can unlock the underground pile, which means we can store a metric poop ton of lumber as well with that. This is all here, not really being taken advantage of. That did not irrigate nearly as far as I thought it would, which is kind of obnoxious. Honestly, kind of obnoxious. I'm not happy about that at all. Yeah, it makes sense because, you know, irrigation goes down, not up. Uh-huh. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, I'm going to do something ridiculous. We're going to do something a tad bit insane, which I'm always a fan of doing. But first, let's put in some additional power here. Going... crank this out right there, grab this, go there. Let the builders come up here and build that for us. Now, of course, all of this is just sitting there being burnt because all of that stuff isn't moving right now, so that's kind of stinky. But let us see here. I need a place to tap into all of this right here. And I think we might actually tap into this right here, honestly. Let's go ahead and do that. Do we have the materials for me to do that? We do. Let's go ahead and rip that out right there. Go ahead and check one of those in right there. Give this a priority bump since that broke the power line for all that. We could probably even throw another one in right here. Just because I'm crazy and cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, alright? You know, it can be like, that's a little upside down sad face or something. I don't know. But I like it. Alright, there should be enough material for those guys to go over and knock that out. Now our beavers are finally growing up, so that is good. So we can actually get a few more of our builders on hand. That's already reconnected there. How are we running power through that? Can power run through? Oh no, it's just they're running off the 126 units from that. Duh. Duh. Alright. That's just waiting on the last bit of paper, which is currently paused. Because I paused it. So I'll take the hit there. And I want to find a place in here to fit in a centrifuge. Let's see here. Centrifuge can fit in... I don't know where. So I did want to unlock the underground pile. So I was thinking of the centrifuge to get over here, and we could cut into this and make like an underground pool right under here to keep all this alive for a prolonged period of time. I think that's a little out of bounds for what we can accomplish right now. So I think we're just going to have to accept the fact that in 11 days, some of these are going to expire, which is kind of stinky. And we only got a few dandelions out of this, I believe. Did somebody ever come over here and pick these? No. Okay, no. Pick the dandelions. I think there were a couple in here. So grab those while they're still available. They do expire in 3 days, which isn't the greatest, but it will do. So let's see here. I do want to get one of these up and running because water is dipping below the 1.5K mark, which isn't the greatest. This has all gone in for the most part, so that is good. That pushes us up to 2,200 out of the 1,000 that we need, and this will add on an additional 600 at peak wind value. That'll be quite beneficial. Okay. Mega project, because I'm ridiculous. Let's see here. So... let us... I think the fastest way down here would be... Are you double tapped already? You are not, so that is a good thing. Let's go ahead and grab this. So we'll go into here. We'll grab the zipline structure here. And we'll go ahead and flip this around. Actually... yeah, we'll do that. And you should be able to connect to that. Too far. Sag. Okay, let's go ahead and unlock the zipline pylon, I guess. Yes, so that easily connects to here, and then you easily connect to there, which shouldn't cause too much of an issue for our beavers. Now, the question is, can we make this work here? Can I have my button? I don't want that button. That is the right button. Okay. So that. And then I want something down here. Probably right here. Is that too far? Can you reach that? You can. Sweet. All of that can be reached. Awesome. Awesome. I just need a way for them to get down there to go build that. Which means doing something like running down here. Sure, why not? This is going to be very expensive, but it's okay. I do have ideas. I like this idea. I think it's excessive, but I like doing excessive things. As I said, what I say about being excessive. All right, so that is that one. Then we go single there. We go triple. Then we go double, and then single. Now we just do stairs all the way up to the top like that. And we just go ahead and chuck this in right here. Now we've got a path already connected with our lovely zipline station, so that'll make their lives a tad bit easier getting up and down over here. And then once that's in, we'll have to probably put in a staircase right... Oh, poop. So that's going to have to be something like that. And then we put stairs right here. And then we put stairs right here. And then we put this path right here. Path. And then we do this skadoosh. That should be out of the way of our future build here. And then we can do silly things like first toss our additional builders into there so they can take care of that. Go check on the rest of the stuff that's happening in the world. We can unpause that and get some more science on the way. That'll be quite beneficial to us. And I just want to double check the height at which I need to do this. And I do need to find out if we cap this off. I think the answer is yes. But with what? We could cap it off with levies, but that'll be expensive. All right, so here's what my brain is currently working on. And I know this is probably crazy, but I like it, so I'm going to do it. Now, we do have two water sources in there, so maybe 2 should be enough. Go ahead and place that right there. And then do the same right there. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to grab this levee. We're going to run this levee across there. We're going to run this up to the top. Like that. We're going to fill that in right there. We're going to do something like this. And we'll go down here like this. Come across. Probably cut the angle a little bit. Then back here, run that just like that. That means that we can just finish the rest of this off. Like such as, now of course we're going to have to come back through and finagle the rest of our way of accessing all this, which is fine. This shouldn't be that hard of an ask. You know, the idea is block off all the bad water source, obviously. Force it to go up here. And then that just wraps around up top, and then it comes down here. Now that means that we're going to have to get the levee that high in the first place. And it also means that I still need to come in here and unlock this. Go ahead and give this a priority bump, and we'll put logs in here. And I do need to find out where half of our haulers right off to. let's go ahead and pause those guys. We are full enough on this because that isn't moving very fast. We'll let those guys keep pumping water. The bad tide's about to be finished, so that's fine. Now, are we at the appropriate height for this? I don't think we are. No, we need to go... Is that the right height? Hold up. That is that height. We need to get over this. So we need to go one higher all the way around. That means like this, like so. And then on top of all that, we cap this off right here and have a massive reservoir of massive water reservoirness, you know? And then this is all just water for us, you know? I love that idea. Go ahead and just mark all this for choppage. I don't think that this is actually needed down here, honestly. Maybe we come over here, chop this down, and that'll let them... I don't think they can actually work through the dirt either, so that's not going to be helpful. But we can get them over here and on top of here, and they can start building across this way so they can kind of meet in the middle, which I'm not opposed to them doing. So I'm not... They can actually start building from underneath here. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll let them continue to work on all this. I did give this a priority bump, right? We want this set to obtain. We'll give that a priority for the haulers that we don't have. We have 2 haulers. Let's pause a couple of our builders so that we can get hauling moving. That means that these fill up. And we could, I guess, put that that one station in down here. I do want to give them a safer way across there than that. That also means giving them a safer way across there so that they can actually build stuff while they're doing it too. So go ahead and put that in like that. Grab this path, rip that across the back end, and then come over here, clear this out, and that will be great. All right. That is the end of our drought though, and that also means that all of this is done and cleared out, and now we can actually see this get filled in, and we'll see what happens here. Now, excess water should, in theory, flow out this way into here, which means we won't have any flooding, I don't think, which will be nice. It's already filling up. I love to see that. That'll make everything nice and green. That's beautiful. We're already back up to 2.1k worth of water. This is filling in again too, and that is glorious. How are we doing power-wise? We're still at 3 grand out of the 1270 that we're burning through, and lumber is moving its way over here, and we do have Shiny down here doing shiny things, which is fantastic. Now, what we should do is give this a priority bump and this a priority bump. And I don't know if that'd be actually beneficial for them. I did want to get over here though, so that these guys can get to work a little bit faster. So let's go ahead and chuck one of these in like that. And that means that we've got to come over here and provide them a way about the cabin. And I don't think that I can make that connection. I cannot. So that means we're going to have to put another zip line station probably right here, just to try to avoid clipping. So we'll click that button, click there, and then click there. That'll make their lives a little bit easier. Not the most easy, but we'll also probably drop this priority-wise. just so that anything new that I put in does get priority over the major build over here, which is probably a smart thing. And we could probably... This is where I wish I had the, what are they called? The iron teeth and their beautiful tube ways and systems like that. We could just run crazy stuff all over the place. But I digress. I don't have those, so there's no reason to be complaining about something you don't have, right? So this is filling in, though. It's a little slower than I anticipated, but it is only one single unit in there, or one single water source, so that's kind of anticipated. I should drop that, though. That's going to cause some flooding. Oops. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to. It's better this than, well, it all flooding on top of you in a very nasty way. So, sorry, not sorry, 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 not sorry. I don't know. Either way, let's see here. We need more lumber yesterday, so we'll get myself in here, I guess, to help chop some more trees down. Can you reach over here? You cannot. You definitely can't. That's already at 0.75. Let's see. I've already paused that. We have a bad tide on the way. That shouldn't be an issue, theoretically. Can pause this so that the bad tide can get through. We'll do the same over here, because we're not quite ready for that. They can build around it and everything like that, and then we'll let these guys continue clearing up. Shiny's got the rest of that lumber to tear out, and that'll be fine. This system over here will get its first test, which should be relatively simple. Just the bad tide goes up in this way, and that's it. Now, what we could do, and what we should do, actually, is help save a little bit of this water by doing that. We'll go ahead and grab this path and connect that like so. We'll give this a priority bump so we can save a little bit more water, and that will be grand. Sweet. That is filling in beautifully. 2 days left until our bad tide shows up, which all of our systems should be ready to rock and roll without too much issue or anything that's about to happen. Now, I would like to get up here and build this. What we can do, though, is get down here and build this, I guess. I don't know if you can actually reach. You cannot. So let's go ahead and rip that out because it's too far. And we'll put that in right there. You should be able to reach. Give that a mild priority bump. And then we can do something like... I don't know if that'll actually be helpful. They'll still have to come out, grab stuff from here, go up and down. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, it provides them a little bit of an easier walk, I guess. I'm going to clear some of this up just because it's an eyesore. It's a waste of space, if you will. Put that out. I can leave the stairs in, I suppose. Well, I do want to come down here and actually blast this out. So I don't want to tear the stairs out, because that is going to require access, which we could start working our way down in here to do that, but there's not really much of a reason to do so now. This is nearing completion, though, so that is good to see. Now, so this learns us that a 6-day temperate cycle does not fill this pool up. Now, we'll also be able to determine how much water stays in here and how long it takes for it all to evaporate. So that'll be good to know. That is always helpful. Always helpful indeed. We didn't even get up to this tile, honestly. So if we want this to be completely full, then we'll definitely need to have something to be about a 6-day to 7-day bad tide. Or not bad tide, 6-day or 7 to 8-day temperate cycle to fill this up any higher. Now that is going to do like I anticipated it would do. Now the question is, well, I can't really answer that question because this is all filled. But we can go ahead in here and turn on one of these guys, drop this down to 2, and now we can start planting some of our wheat. Now that is going to be back there. I don't know how far out that will actually provide irrigation, but we will see. Once they get all this planted, we can get these 2 back out and doing something else, because the wheat takes 10 days to actually reach maturity, and there's no reason to burn the beavers in there for the prolonged period of time if they're not going to be able to do anything for us. And it's only a 13-day bad tide, so that's not that bad, honestly. Now, this is going in nice and slowly, but it is going in, so that's all that really matters. That requires a few more metal blocks, planks, which we seem to be doing okay on. So I'll call that a win. Let's see. This is in... I'll even think if I put a Lido in here, it'd actually be of any use to anything. We could do... No, that's not going to be helpful. Well, we could do Lidos down here, I guess. I've just been trying to think of ways to actually increase these guys' happiness in a relatively easy fashion, right? I don't want to burn through resources unnecessarily, but I also know that if I can get them happier, then I can get these kits that are roaming about the cabin to grow up a little bit faster, which is always helpful. And I should actually start using these large tanks. And I do have some real estate up there down here that I should be taking advantage of for that. Or back here, maybe? Maybe do something like this. So let's go ahead, do that, do this. I know this is excessive, but it's real estate that we could take advantage of now. And we can move this pine resin somewhere that's a bit more beneficial for us. And we could actually move this back over here or something. Or maybe even put in another large or underground pile. That's always helpful. Now this should all still be at that second tier of priority, which is going to mean that we still beat out the priority for anything as we're putting in new stuff. So let's see here now. Let's see. Nope, not what I wanted to do. Get rid of that and get rid of that. Let's go ahead and put in a large pile back here, knowing that I'm going to move this over here. And that should get everything moved over. We can store more stuff. And that means that once that's in, we can rip that out, get another line of storage in here for all of this stuff, right? We could probably even think about ripping out this plank storage and this log storage and putting in another large pile as well. That requires... Well, these are a lot cheaper than they used to be, actually. I distinctly remember this costing in excess of 100 for each of those back in the day, so I'm happy to see that that has dropped substantially. Well, that is amazing to see. Now, that still means that we need to get our builders over here. which we're already maxed out on all those guys. Let's go ahead and... Whoa, when did I max that out? All right, that's fine. We'll put that back down to where it needs to be, and then... My dogs are barking. I don't know why they're barking at me. Or at us, honestly, but it's fine. All right, so you are bored, so you are now fired. This is in here, so that means that they can actually get about the cabin a little bit easier, so that is good to see. And what we can actually do up here is do something like this. And then something like that right there. We can put in another thing right there. And that lets them walk along the top of this, work on that a little bit. Now, the problem with doing that, of course, means that they are restricted to however many touch points they can get one at a time, which is my least favorite thing to do. But if we do something like this, it means we can actually run along this a little bit easier. Now, this is going to burn through our planks like no one's business, but they can build two up from where they're at, or one up, I'm sorry. So that means they can build this one and then they can build that one. And then we can have more of our beavers coming about the backside and finishing up the rest of the things on the ground and so on and so forth. So I think that'll be a good starting point. That'll let them burn through a metric poop ton of planks, which is kind of stinky, but it's okay. Maybe we put in another lumber mill or something to help with the excessive amount of material that we're about to rip through. Maybe that's probably a smart idea. All right, let's see here. This is going in though, so that is good to see. I do want to give this a priority bump. I also want to give this a priority bump, but they can't really, well, they can reach all that. That's going to burn through all of our planks, actually. So that's why they're all gone now. And of course, that ate a bunch of our planks too. Boo. Okay. Maybe not. Okay, you're paused. We need to save our planks. That'll actually save us a beaver too. They haven't touched any of this yet. So where did our 100 planks go? In here? Yeah, that's probably where they're all at. Metric poop ton of planks just burned through there. We could probably pause the gear workshops and save up on some more of our planks, which is always a good idea. And I honestly think we should pause this for now and let them come up here and finish the rest of this for us. I'd rather save water than save sparkly planks for a little bit. Yeah, okay. We'll let that sort itself out for a little bit. And maybe we'll think about putting in another lumber mill. I just don't have a place for them to go. But they can continue to work on... I do need to drop this priority-wise, honestly. Because they're going to use all of our planks to build all these platforms, honestly. So let's go ahead and drop this priority-wise, so that we are not excessively burning through all of our planks. So I know I need it. We can still save them for now, and that'll be a good thing. Okay, so this is what this looks like now. So this irrigates down to here. And that is good. We lost one patch there, which is totally fine. I forgot to pause these guys. This still has another 3 days left on it. This is all going to be basically worthless for us. You have been paused, so you can get in there and get some more of your chestnuts. Don't necessarily need you to work on anything else other than that. And that means that we could probably get 2 of you guys in here since all of this has popped up. And I think I have not already marked all that for cutting. So let's go ahead and do that. I really should have pulled this guy out once all of that was planted. Now it's just we're gonna be fighting that cycle for a hot minute, which is totally okay. totally fine. I will accept the fact that I did the dumbs there, okay? Okay, 600 science, pop those guys in. We can go ahead and unpause that. That can get knocked out. We need another 20 or 18 more planks in there, another 23 in there, and a couple more gears, which is totally fine. That won't take about 20 hours in game, which we've got plenty of time in the world, you know? Plenty of stuff to happen, plenty of stuff to work on, and that is always good. Now, we could give this a priority bump just so that they can start working on moving this way. Now, they're not going to be out anything else that is occurring up here, but it does give them something to work towards for a little bit while all of the lumber is being moved about the cabin and all that other fun jazz. I do want to store water in here, obviously. And once that is finished, which needs 3 more planks, which our last couple of planks should be going in now. Yes. There we go. Now they just need to slap it a little bit, and then we can rip this out. There we go. Go ahead and remove all the materials from there. Move that over there. Construction lacks materials. Yeah, I know. All of that lacks planks. So that's going to be a lot of planks. Yep. Cool story, bro. Not much I can do about that right now, so we'll just accept that for what it is. We could just go ahead and rip this out, but then I think builders would have to come over and clean this up as opposed to haulers. And haulers can carry a bit more than builders, so I'll let that be for now. Let's see here. It really is disappointing. It takes longer than 6 days for... Well, theoretically, right? This should not dry out entirely. That actually is perfectly put together right there, actually. That's crazy. I didn't even think about looking on this side. That was really dumb of me to not look down here to see what this bad water would do. Well, that's a good thing it worked out in the end, you know. We're not pumping bad tide back into all of this stuff over here, so that's a good thing. So I'll call that an accidental win right there. I love a good accidental win, that's for darn sure. All right. Wheat is moving now, so we can actually go ahead and unpause those two. They can get up there and rip that out there. We'll rip this out now, and we can go ahead and do the same thing there. Grab this path and put our path in there. And I also want to path along this backside. I don't know if this is the smartest maneuver, but it is a maneuver. And we'll go ahead and put in our pine resin right here, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It'll work. It'll do. Now that's going to take a lot of metal blocks, a lot of planks. That's got a lot of planks. Jeez Louise. All of this takes so much in the way of planks. That's okay. It's okay. What we could do while we're waiting, though, and which I should have done instead of planting or placing all of this, I should probably rip this out before it gets too far gone, but it's okay. There's nothing I could do about it. Mistakes were made. Go ahead and blast out some more of this water. Or more of this storage area down here. So let's go ahead. We'll do that. Start clearing some of this out. I don't want to... That shouldn't be a problem there. Go ahead and just blast this out too. I love the fact that they allow you to place explosives on the path now. They used to not be able to do that. And that is so helpful, being able to do this like this now. Makes life so much easier. So much easier. I love it. All right, that's going to cause an issue. So we will give that a priority. Now, I don't need to go any deeper than one more deep, right? Because these have a max depth of 4. And they're currently at 2, obviously, because, duh. So that will have to do. Now we can go ahead and blast that out real quick. And that will backfill into there. Now that's as deep as that goes. So if we want to go any deeper than that, we're going to have to put in some additional large water pumps down here. If we wanted to make this into a much larger reservoir. Which I don't really care to do at this point in time. That requires a lot of material, a lot of time, and a lot of effort that I don't have because we're nearing the end of this episode. And perfectly timed end of our bad tide. Now that's gonna continue to dump out this side. That'll eventually clear up, and we'll fill the rest of this in, and we'll actually get to see this overfill and go fill up this side, which is totally acceptable. Of course, we lost a few more of our trees over here, which is not acceptable, but we will survive. They did get this in, though, so that is good to see. And we're still 1 beaver shy of the hauling post, but that's okay. We still have beavers on cycle in and out of here. Now, the question is, did they put in these contemplation spots? They did, and I love to see it. That is awesome. Let's see. Let's, I do want to unpause this. I want to get a bit more water going. They did get 1 large tank in, and 1 more large tank is always beneficial. That means that we can store a metric poop ton of water as opposed to just a little poop ton of water. It was just a metric poop ton now, which is always good, okay? Oh, wow. They just bomb burst out of there. That is crazy. What just happened? They're just all everywhere. Okay, okay, this does not need to be set to obtain anymore. Same with this, and does not need a priority either. That'll save us some of our beavers moving about the cabin that way, and we can... Well, that's going to take forever to actually clear up. Huh. I should probably blast that out, honestly. Help that out. Because that takes years to... Huh. We have flooding buildings. Yeah, that's standard. Okay, whatever. I still need to get up here and figure out a way to deal with that maple syrup. And this is already nearly full on wheat, so we do need to get that in as well. And that also requires us we're dealing with some of our storage woes. So let's go ahead and put in our large warehouse here. Yes, you'll be gears. That's waiting on planks again. Planks are always a problem for us, which is okay. You know, why do I have 2 beavers that are not in a home? Oh, it's probably because it flooded. Maybe? Yeah, it's probably because it flooded. Okay, that's fine. Let us see here. We could put in showers, I guess. That's easy. Showers are always easy. Do showers here, yes. Since we're not really using this river for much of anything, honestly. Go ahead and put that in, and maybe on this side over here, while we've got it available to them, we could put in the Lido right here, honestly. So we'll go ahead and break that apart. Now that's going to burn through some of our planks. I think these just... Oh, they do take planks too. Boo, everything takes planks. Everything takes planks, and I hate it. Oh, you know what? I wonder. I don't know if this will actually fit. Let's pause that. Line obstructed. So one of my friends was able to plant one of these zipline stations underwater. Now, I know this is absolutely obnoxious and unnecessary, but it makes their lives a little bit easier. I don't know. It's not necessary though. So we're not going to do that because that's obnoxious and unnecessary. But it's something to think about in the future, I suppose. I do want to make their lives... we could make their lives a little bit easier up here though. That's actually not a waste of our material and time and effort. So let's do that. That means doing something like that. Tossing in one of these bad Johnnies right there. Go ahead and put in our zipline station right here. And I don't think you'll be able to reach. And we are cutting through some stuff as well. So that is stinky. Let's see here. Can I put a pylon right here? Theoretically, I can. Yes, I can. Okay, good. That means that that should be a little bit easier for our builder or haulers to come up here and get this bad water for us, which means it gets back to this side a little bit faster and they just jump across there and all that. Okay, yeah, that should be not a bad idea. All right, we are approaching on our next drought. We got, wow, they got a lot done up here actually, so we could probably save on this material, honestly. Let's go ahead and rip that out. They can keep working their way around like this. I'm not in a rush to get this accomplished, honestly. This is one of those large projects that's going to take a hot minute for them to get done, so we'll let them keep on working that as time allows them to do so, and yeah, I love it. So that's going to mean this side will be bad tide free. We'll have a large reservoir of water back here for us to dip into in perpetuity. Never have to deal with anything bad back here again, so we can actually start planting stuff on this side as well and taking full advantage of this. And I want to get in here and set something up because that's kind of cool, little overhang like that. But I have been yapping for way too long. This recording has gone a little bit too long. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you all for coming in today. I hope you had a fantastic time hanging out with me and my beavers and my zip lines as they go all over the place, as one does with your zip lines and your beavers. And we started another mega project. Not where I originally intended to go in this episode, but hey, I'm here for it. You know, we got this done. Haven't taken advantage of that yet because this is still poop water. I need to figure out a way to get that out of there a little bit faster. That might be one of those things where we get in there and set up some sort of, we'll probably crawl in there with some explosives via the tunneling system, and we'll just blast that through, and then the bad tide just goes out this way, and then the clean water goes up in that way. Otherwise, this is just going to constantly mix in here, and it's going to take 15 years for all that to clear out, which means that none of it gets into here, which is basically means that this is pointless for us for a hot minute. But I digress. I hope you guys had a fantastic time. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you're in the world. Make sure you guys stay nice, safe, stay nice and thirsty, nice and hydrated as well, and keep your beavers nice and hydrated too. But I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a fantastic day. Okay, I'm repeating myself. That means it's time to go. I'm out. See ya.